I don't expect this market to hit 200K in January. In fact, I'm very confident we're going to get weaker dollar from this administration fairly soon in 2025. So I'm very confident, big green candle in 2025. Do I have that level of confidence in the next 60 to 90 days? No, I would not be surprised if we got some dip and if this thing chopped around until March, April, May, and you go from 150 to 900,000 in 6 months because Trump figured out the reserve and we figured out Putin has a position.
Bitcoin may face a rocky start in early 2025, but explosive growth is on the horizon, according to Jack Mers, CEO of Strike. He predicts Bitcoin could skyrocket from $150,000 to $900,000 in just 6 months. While January might see some dips, patience could lead to massive gains. Stay tuned for more insights from Jack Mers on Bitcoin's unstoppable rise. And don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest finance updates.
I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I struggle with putting myself in other people's shoes. I mean, I bought Bitcoin at $50. And I've been around for such a long time. I've seen these things. This don't surprise me for a second. If I were, though, upset at this, I think post FTX, it's been number go up literally. I don't think we've had many dips, literally, especially since the ETFs. I mean, we went from 20, 30K to 100. I mean, there was a painful 6-month stagnation of sideways, but sideways feels a lot different than there goes my net worth. So I think that this is a lot of folks. If you came here, I don't know, over the last 2 years now, because Sam scammed the world over 2 years ago. So if you came after that within the last 24 months, yeah, this is probably the first red candle where you're refreshing your portfolio balance and you're like, ouch, I got to close that tab on Zillow. Probably. That's kind of the only guess I have. Because yeah, I was telling Odell, the similarities to the 2016, 2017 cycle are so profound to me. People forget that Bcash and SegWit2x and UASF, that was in August. We didn't cross 3,000 until August. And we went from 3,000 to 20,000 in 5 months, in like 100 something days. So I don't expect this market to hit 200K in January. In fact, I'm very confident we're going to get weaker dollar from this administration fairly soon in 2025. So I'm very confident, big green candle in 2025. Do I have that level of confidence in the next 60 to 90 days? No. I think it's going to be the same as 2017. 100,000, big psychological number. This election was so emotionally exhausting. I think markets in America is very fatigued. I mean, Elon and Trump, everyone's fighting. I think people are emotionally exhausted. They're fatigued. The markets look like they're out of gas. I would not be surprised if we got some dip and if this thing chopped around until March, April, May, and you go from 150 to 900,000 in 6 months because Trump figured out the reserve and we figured out Putin has a position. That wouldn't surprise me. In fact, it kind of looks like what we're going to get. Well, hold on. Put yourself back a second because we're not even in 2017 yet. We're still in 2016 if we're comparing cycles. So we still need 48 more hours.
The FUD is coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Of course. What do you mean? Everyone's favorite.
Raoul Powell sold at 2,000. Remember that? And he was like, this is the top 2,000. And then it 10X'd.
Yeah.
Never go poor taking profits.
Vinny Lingham sold at like 900. He was like, this is the top.
Like, Raoul, Vinny, Voorhees.
I remember that.
A lot of people have gone forward taking profits, haven't they? Quite a few.
What people don't realize is it's actually good advice to take profits. But when you take profits, it's selling dollars for Bitcoin. It's the opposite direction.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the same. At the time, for people that weren't there, 2017, the run was the market got a lot of confidence and clarity that Bitcoin was going to work. That's how big that cycle was. That was the only time holding Bitcoin. I was like, shit, my savings might go to zero. I was running a code patch from some random internet guy named Shaolin Fry. I had put my whole net worth on running a Raspberry Pi from some guy named Shaolin Fry. That's where we were at. But the market got the clarity and Bitcoin is what we thought it was. And then it went 5 to 10x in like 100 days. Similar here is Bitcoin capable of, nation state stacking is that where we are? Is the debt levels and the deficit levels in America really that bad? I almost think we're entering an era where the Treasury matters less than the Department of Defense. I've heard Luke Gromen talk about that now, but I mean, you're entering an era where it feels like America's like, listen, you know, the bond market's starting to get a little skittish, and it feels like Wall Street's like, hey, you guys aren't going to have me in the loss in real terms, right? We're the bond market, we're Wall Street, and it feels like the Fed and the Treasury and the government's like, you know, this is about national defense. Fuck your portfolio. Right. Go call Larry Fink, and he got the lowdown. So anyway, I think that the market needs that clarity. Is it going to get it on Trump's inauguration? I think that sounds to me like Bitcoin Twitter hope. I know we all love BPI. I don't think on his inauguration that we're going to get that clarity. When's the market going to get that clarity? Would it shock me if it came April, May, June, July, and then we go from 125, 150, 200, and we 3-4x and blow up to gold's levels? That's my sort of expectation, I think. Yeah, and Calcanis, you're too early on the FUD call. Calcanis is everyone's favorite influencer, right? So he's warming up. There's like layup lines. I think in Q1, Bitcoin goes to 80. You're going to get all sorts of sailors going to get margin called, right?
So many people are expecting a day one pump that we will probably dump.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, come on, how long have you been around?
Michael Saylor, former MicroStrategy chairman, reportedly met Eric Trump on January 3rd, as per Bitcoin magazine. Saylor is raising $2 billion to invest in Bitcoin, signaling his confidence in its future and growing institutional interest. Speculations are rising about what's next for Bitcoin. Now back to Jack Murr's insights.
I mean, I don't think people understand, at least the new ones. These dips are great. Listen, people always ask, why is Bitcoin going down? Well, it's because more people are interested in selling it than buying it. That's why. And so if you think rationally from how markets are conducted and how they work and perform, there are new buyers now at these prices. These people that are buying now are going to be far less interested at selling at 100K again than the guy that bought at $100 that's taking profit to buy his dream house. So when you get dips and you recycle in new entrants, you're building a lot stronger base, a lot stronger market participants than those that, to HODL's point, can't handle leverage, don't understand it, misunderstood MSTR, or whatever the case is. So dips are great. If you woke up tomorrow and Bitcoin was $1 million, it wouldn't be there for long. It'd come right back down. If you can build stronger bases and recycle in market participants, it's always a good thing, and it's an opportunity to buy more. So everyone's got to relax. If you're hurt by this, it says more about you than Bitcoin. Go sit in the shower and think about that. I think when people get confused as to why we see some dumps post halving, it's the question on the internet is, who could possibly be selling? Like, I watch every Michael Saylor interview. Who could be selling? And the reality is there's a lot of distressed miners out there. When you go through an inventory reduction of 50%, so like here in Chicago in the 88 drought, where like there wasn't enough rain for all the crops, there was inventory reduction for a lot of the commodities we consume, but it wasn't 50%. It was like, you know, inventory reduction of corn was maybe like 8%, 9%. It wasn't 50. So a 50% inventory reduction, you're going to blow out some miners. And so I think there's always a lot of distressed sellers. So the mining market in hash rate is always a little interesting to me. It's always a little bit complicated, but on net, I've always said I would never, ever, ever, ever want to be in the business that is an open bid for energy, ever. I do not want to compete with the human race for who can harness energy the most. I mean, you got to be fucking kidding me. I'm a guy sitting in an empty closet. On what planet am I ever going to win that? What if Putin decides he wants to play? Well, I lose. Fuck that game. I don't want to play that game. So, yeah, no. Do I think that hash rate is probably going to lead price? Yeah. If there's a bullish sentiment on Bitcoin and people have excess energy lying around, plug it in. Energy is the currency of the universe. And it's the one thing you can't print, you can't manipulate. So, you know, the direct opposite, the antithesis of fiat currency and central planning is energy, is Bitcoin, is Mother Nature. So you're going to find yourself in volatility. To me, is the antithesis and the opposition of fiat, right? If you want zero vol, zero returns, you own dollars. If you want more returns and more vol, you can own the S&P 500, I guess. But what's biggest vol, biggest returns is Bitcoin. Why? Because to your point, it's a proxy. Energy is the base layer of money, period.
Yep.
And so like, you know, before money and barter, you know, the currency we use in barter is just energy. It's just, you know, time and energy. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. But, you know, Bitcoin is a monetary unit that is directly governed by the laws of Mother Nature. And, you know, energy is the currency of the universe as we know it. So I think that's exactly why. And yeah, I've never understood why anyone would be excited to get into mining. And I have a lot of friends in mining and they're great people, but you want to be in an open competition to whoever can harness the currency of the universe and energy. Fuck off. I'm going to sell people Bitcoin and watch the bears. But as evidence of the fact that El Salvador listened to me on a lot of things, but on some things they didn't, they asked, you know, do you think we should force everyone to use Bitcoin? I said, no, it sounds like a terrible idea. They did it anyway. And do you think we should build our own wallet? I said, no, that's the worst idea. And they did it anyway. So the fact that those are the two things that they're compromising on with the IMF, and in exchange they get $1 billion, that's the sweetest deal of all time, because those were two of the things that I would have removed with or without the IMF. The way I've been putting it recently is Bitcoin's the only money in crypto. And I mean that genuinely. I think all these other things are technologies. They're not competing to be the neutral reserve currency for the world and the place for you to put your time and energy and your effort and your labor. So treat it as money. If you're looking to save and build, you know, a better tomorrow for yourself, I would use Bitcoin for that. But for example, Bitcoin's not the only thing I own. Literally, I own this shirt. Why? I bought the shirt because I can't go outside. I got a rehearsal for the wedding I'm in tomorrow. I can't show up naked. So I bought this shirt because I need to wear it. I own this house I'm sitting in because I need to sleep somewhere at night. So why would you own a shitcoin? Ask yourself that question and be honest with yourself. But Bitcoin's the only money. Ethereum's not money. And that's when people say, you know, why isn't Ethereum going up? Why is Bitcoin going up? Well, the opportunity size for a world reserve currencies, like I said, $400 to $500 trillion. The opportunity size for you guys to decentralize YouTube or something is like maybe $100 million. It's just a smaller idea. It's a smaller opportunity. So, you know, I own a shirt to wear it. I bought a steak to eat it. I own my home to sleep in it. I own my Bitcoin for my money. Ask yourself why you would own a shitcoin. I guarantee you can't come up with a good answer unless, to their point, you want to gamble.
Bitcoin price dips are often misunderstood, especially by new investors, says Jack Mers. These drops aren't failures, but a natural part of the market cycle, bringing in new buyers at lower prices and building a stronger foundation for growth.